How does the fastest man in the world lose millions of dollars? No, this isn't fiction. This is the real-life robbery of a national treasure. A global icon, Usain Bolt. He ran his way to Olympic glory. He brought joy to Jamaica. He made millions of people smile. And yet, behind the scenes, someone was quietly draining his life savings. Not on the track, but in a suit, sitting behind a desk, smiling like a friend. This is the true and disgraceful story of how Usain Bolt's fortune was allegedly stolen, right under his nose, by the very people trusted to protect it. Let's get one thing straight. Usain Bolt didn't blow his money. He didn't gamble it away. He didn't go broke from wild spending like some former athletes. No, he did the responsible thing. He invested it. He trusted a Jamaican financial firm, Stocks and Securities Limited, known as SSL, to manage his wealth. He was careful, strategic. He even kept the money in an account under his name at SSL for over 10 years. And then one day in early 2023, it was gone. Not some, not half, not even most. 98% of it missing. Over $12 million gone. Vanished, just $12,000 left in his account. That's right, Usain Bolt, worth tens of millions from prize money, endorsements, Puma deals, and global fame, woke up one day to find nearly his entire fortune had been drained. And the most infuriating part, he wasn't alone. SSL, a firm based in Kingston, Jamaica, had been under investigation for months. Other investors had noticed strange discrepancies, money missing, unauthorized withdrawals, faked documents. And now, Usain Bolt, the most famous man in Jamaican history, had become the face of what some called the biggest financial scandal in modern Caribbean history. But how does this happen? How does a licensed financial institution, supposedly regulated by the Financial Services Commission, allow millions to be siphoned off from a high-profile account for over a decade without anyone noticing? Well, here's where it gets murky. An SSL employee, Kishane Thomson, allegedly admitted to forging signatures, falsifying statements, and stealing funds from over 40 accounts, including Bolt's. She claimed she did it to support her sick father, pay bills, and stay afloat. But let's be real. That doesn't explain how over $12 million just disappears. That doesn't explain the systemic breakdown that allowed this theft to go unchecked for over 10 years. Was she really working alone? Or was she just the fall girl? Because here's the truth. One low-level employee doesn't embezzle millions without someone higher up turning a blind eye or actively helping. And here's where the controversy starts. Where was the Jamaican government? Where was the FSC, the very regulator in charge of oversight? Why were red flags ignored? And why, after months of investigation, has Usain Bolt still not been reimbursed? That's the real question. This isn't just about Bolt's money. This is about trust. It's about institutional corruption. It's about a broken financial system that allowed a global icon to be robbed in broad daylight. And no one went to jail. In any other country, this would be a national scandal. Arrests, prosecutions, a government inquiry. But in Jamaica, silence, delays, excuses. Bolt's lawyers gave SSL a deadline: return the money or face the full legal force. That deadline passed, and still the money is missing. Still, no one is in prison. Still, there are whispers of political ties, deep cover-ups, and powerful people pulling strings to keep the truth buried. Usain Bolt made Jamaica proud. He put the island on the map in a way no politician ever could. And now, Jamaica has failed him. The man gave his country everything: joy, fame, tourism, global respect. And in return, he was betrayed by a system that was supposed to protect him. And now, he's fighting not for gold medals, but for justice. He shouldn't have to sue. He shouldn't have to beg. He shouldn't have to prove anything. The documents are there. The numbers don't lie. His fortune was stolen, period. And if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. The truth is painful. And here's the most brutal part. If Usain Bolt can't get justice, what chance does the average Jamaican investor have? This isn't just about one athlete. It's about a country's failure to protect its people from financial predators. It's about a culture of silence that lets criminals in suits steal more than any street thief ever could. It's about making noise until the world listens. Because right now, Usain Bolt isn't sprinting. He's standing still, waiting for his money, waiting for answers, waiting for justice. And the world is watching.